the incredible, the fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, come one and come all to a film you've never seen before. But remember, folks, no refunds.
Hello, and welcome to No Refunds, the podcast where we watch bad movies so you don't have to, a ColdNorth production. I am your host, Ben Reynolds, and this week we're doing something a little different. We'll be ranking the films we've watched so far from the best to the very worst. Joining me this time, we have the tenacious Tim Miller.
Hello there.
And Patrick the Law Morris.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Check out everything we have going on over at ColdNorthPro.com, and if you like what you hear, leave us a rating and review wherever you found our podcast. And now, let's rank.
Ooh, I like that.
Nice.
All right.
Makes us sound cool.
Right? I was kind of like, I thought about saying like let's list, and then putting like a little clip of Phoenix like Listomania. Then I was like, 25, the best movie that we watched. What do you guys have?
I think it's going to be unanimous, but for me, it was Starship Troopers.
That is what I've got as well.
I actually chose Transformers 5.
Really?
Really?
I really liked Transformers 5. And, like, I really liked Transformers 1. 2 was terrible. 3 was okay. 4 was, like, eh. But the more I, like, as I was making this list, as I was, like, ranking these movies, I honestly, like, Transformers 5 is my second favorite Transformers movie.
It made my top 6.
It didn't
like
even
the
make
best,
the top 10 for me.
It was one of the best 6 movies we've watched.
Yeah, no, I like Starship Troopers is very close.
Okay.
But there are, and I was anticipating this, but there's a very small handful of movies that I really clicked with on that we've watched. And so Transformers 5 is one of them. I really dug that movie.
Fair enough. No, I enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed Transformers. I just felt like Starship Troopers wasn't really bad at all. And like the only parts of it that were really bad were like kind of intentionally bad.
Yeah.
And so I remember, I'm pretty sure that during that podcast, we all kind of agreed that it didn't necessarily belong on the podcast.
Yeah. From a purely critical standpoint, like just removing entirely my bias, which, I mean, you can't really do that if you want to be entertaining at all. But, like, just removing all of my bias, Starship Troopers is without a doubt the best movie that we've watched.
Yeah. Yeah. Tim, do you want to add anything about Starship Troopers?
It's a fucking awesome movie. Go watch it. If you haven't done it, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah.
Tim's just
Absolutely.
like, it's a podcast about bad movies, but it's a good movie, so.
Out of all the movies on this list, it's probably the one I'd recommend the most.
Yeah, honestly, of all the movies on the list, it is the only one that I would say is legitimately, purely, just no joking. It's just good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And Denise Richards.
Oh, Denise Richards. Hold on, I gotta. I'll be in my bunk.
Fuck that! I'm just gonna do it right here.
Yes, and he's on webcam too. Screen capture. Don't kill yourself. It's not that long.
So let's go to number 24. And this is where I think we're going to probably all be just different at this point. But I thought that the next best movie that we watched was Rampage.
Ooh. Rampage is up there for me.
It is up there for me, but my number 2 was actually Indiana Jones 4. I absolutely love those films. So,
all right.
And the fourth one it still speaks to me this day as not as great as the original 3, but definitely at the top of the movies we've watched.
That was definitely, I think, the biggest takeaway from the podcast was Indiana Jones 4 was not as bad as everyone said it was at the time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
And it was definitely like a fun callback to the original movies.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Indiana Jones 4 is a bit lower on my list, but for me it
was in the best 5 that we watched.
Ben, you keep giving away where these movies are. Mine was in the top 6. Anywhere in the top 6. It wasn't in the top 5 though, but anywhere in the top 6. No,
exactly.
For me, the second best movie that we've watched was Death Race. Again, like one of the ones that just clicked with me, I really liked Death Race.
It's very high on my list as well.
Yep.
I really liked Rampage. I thought that the action was fun. It's like Tim was saying, it was just like fun watching a giant wolf and a giant monkey destroy a city, and
Exactly.
to see The Rock, and it's like we talked about, The Rock had great chemistry with those CGI animals.
And I think that I think that like what you just said about it's just really fun to watch a monkey fight a wolf. Like that's one of Rampage's strong points, was it was just so unapologetic of like, this is a movie about a gigantic monkey fighting a gigantic wolf. Set all expectations for this being able to be taken seriously aside. You're just going to have fun. And that's what it was.
Absolutely.
And then a giant crocodile comes in and fucks everything up.
Yeah. Fucker.
It's true. That fucking crocodile.
And George had me convinced that he was dead. So give that
George is a
monkey
good
the
actor.
Oscar.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. So you had Death Race there, Patrick?
I did. I loved Death Race.
Death Race was great. We have so far, like every movie that we've said, I've had like very, very. It's been in the better movies that we've watched. Like,
That's kind of how I was expecting this episode to go. Was like, I bet we'll all pretty much have the same top half or even top third, and the same bottom third.
yeah.
Yo.
I think that I'm going to be the only one who has this movie at number 23, and that is The Fast and the Furious, Tokyo Drift.
Okay, Tim, tell us that. Please tell me that you didn't rank Tokyo Drift that high.
Actually, it's not that high, but it is still pretty high on the list.
Oh, Ben is very excited.
So for me, at number 23, we did just talk about it, but Death Race. So
Yeah.
I was right behind you there.
It was a really good one. Like, it was really fun. At 23, I had Bangkok Dangerous.
Okay.
I did not have Bangkok Dangerous as high. There were a lot of weirds. I kept thinking back to that movie, and I feel like I was probably the least positive about that movie of the three of us. So it probably makes sense that I don't have it as high.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And like these top three are really looking at my list moving forward. These ones are definitely the ones that are like, for some reason, I just really liked these movies. And like moving on from these three, I feel like my list is much more in line with popular opinion. But I just really liked all three of these ones. Nicolas Cage, awesome. Like silly movie in Bangkok, awesome. An inexplicable naked chick in a pool, awesome.
All
I
right.
love that scene.
Yeah,
That scene
that's
is
cool.
amazing.
Killing someone in a pool after being able to sneak into a swimming pool without the people right next to the pool noticing. Don't know how,
Impressive.
but awesome.
Impressive. All I have to say is Teriyaki Boys.
God.
If you see me, don't wake up. Tokyo.
I'm glad that you sang it and didn't input the audio clip.
Well, he'll do it.
I might.
No, we'll get claimed. We'll get claimed. Thank God your singing is terrible.
Oh.
Don't insult me. It's unbecoming. All right. So next I have Death Race at 22. So Death
Acceptable.
Race was up there for all three of us.
It was top four
Definitely.
for all three of us.
Yeah, it was a really good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
There's not much more we can really say about it. It's giant cars, explosions. What more do you want?
Just hardcore
Well, and-
action.
That was one of those movies where I'd kind of forgotten that I had watched it, and as I was watching it, I was like, "Oh yeah, this movie actually was good." I forgot that I watched this, and it was actually kind of fun to watch. Like while I will say like narrative, it's not like really a quality narrative. It's fun to watch. Like, and that's probably a good disclaimer to place on most of these movies. Is that they're not really actually good. They're just fun to watch.
Yeah. And that's fine.
That's fair.
Yeah, and that's fine. Not everything has to be fucking Schindler's List. Okay.
Exactly. What did you guys have at number 22?
Tim?
Pat, go ahead.
Okay, I will. I'll throw it in there. I'm done with my personal bias now. Starship Troopers.
All right, there we go.
Another one that made all three of our top four.
Yep.
It's true.
So for me, I brought one up that we haven't even talked about yet, but for me it was Spider-Man 3. I mean, again, not as great as the other two, seeing as Spider-Man 2 was one of the best comic book movies of all time. But it's still a fun time, no matter how disjointed it may have been.
Spider-Man 3 didn't make my top four, but it made my top 7 and 3/8. So
It made my top half.
Fair.
Spider-Man 3 was it was a fun movie, like no doubt. And I think still, and I know I
The
mentioned
best
this.
in the series.
No, easily the best of the three. Infamous quote from Ben Reynolds. No,
Go back and listen to that podcast if you don't get that joke.
yes. Or time travel back in time and be in U.S. history class with me and Ben in 2007.
2008. Oh yeah, with Kyle Schuyler.
Yep, Kyle Schuyler. Shout out, friend of the show. But no, Spider-Man 3, I still hold firm that was a great character design for Venom. I think that the Venom model was awesome. Way better than
Topher Grace.
way better
Not
than
so
the
much.
Venom movie. Topher Grace, not so much. You're right, but way better than the Venom movie.
I still haven't seen the Venom movie, but
I haven't seen it
It's
either,
worth
but
a
I've
watch.
seen the trailers.
It's worth a watch.
I-
I watched it and I actually really enjoyed it.
I heard a lot of people complain that it was PG-13 and they felt like it should have been R. That was the biggest complaint I heard about it.
I will agree with that. There were a lot of things that was like, okay, they could have gone a bit farther with this.
Didn't they allude to
Yeah.
Carnage at the end?
Oh, yeah.
And now Sony is lobbying pretty hard to retcon Venom, Tom Hardy Venom into the MCU.
We'll see.
That would be cool for Secret Wars because he would just get offed really fast.
Yeah, no, I would want to see what the MCU would do with Venom because I think that, well, I haven't seen the movie. I have faith that whatever Disney did would be better than what Sony did.
Oh god, I just saw the coolest fucking Marvel Avengers comic book cover where the Parasite is taking over Wolverine.
Ooh. That's
And I want to read that comic so bad now.
you actually get to do that in one of the games. You get to play as Wolverine with the Parasite. Or do you fight
One of
Wolverine
the-
with the Parasite?
Which games? Marvel Ultimate Alliance games?
No, in one of the Spider-Man games. I think it's Web of Shadows. You get to
I've never
fight
played it.
Parasite Wolverine.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Cool stuff.
That's definitely pretty cool. All right, so we just did 22, correct?
I think that was
yeah.
20. That was 21.
So now we're...
Well,
No,
I
that was 20.
reversed mine. We've each done 4.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So the next on my list is Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. So I agree with Tim. I agree with Pat. It was nowhere near as bad as I remembered it being, and it was just a lot of fun. It was an adventure. Reminded me of the older Indiana Jones movies, and more so than it did initially when I watched it. I think even I don't know why. I just had so much better of an experience than I did when I saw it in theaters in 2008.
Well, and I think that says a lot about like the social media hype train of, everyone on social media was hating on that movie, and I went into it fully expecting to hate it, and I came out hating it, and I didn't think about it, didn't talk about it, didn't nothing for 10 years, and then I watched it, and I was like, oh, that wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
It
Absolutely.
aged like a fine wine.
Yeah.
It did.
You guys are kind of making me want to call an audible and move that one up on my list.
Go for it.
No, I'm not. That'll fuck up my whole list.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Actually, no, I am going to. I know where I'm going to put it
Okay.
to.
Ding, ding,
All
ding,
right.
ding.
Well, while Pat moves his list around, Tim, what do you have next?
My fifth best movie is going to be Rampage. Agree with you, Ben. It was absolutely one of the best movies we watched. It was just a fun romp.
Yeah, really awesome.
Yeah. And The Rock was really good in it.
Oh yeah, so charismatic, and like the way he acted opposite those CGI was just like, that's a tough thing to do.
It really is.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, my number 5 was also Rampage, so like that was
All right.
That movie was. I would love to see a sequel, and we'll watch.
I would too.
It would be tough to watch a sequel for that movie for this podcast, just because we all liked it so much.
It's true. All right. So then next on my list, I guess because you guys are going the opposite order as me, so the 6th best movie we watched was Transformers: The Last Night. I thought that, like I said, it was in my top 6, and here it is. Number 6.
God, you guys are going to hate me when I tell you where I think it lands.
Oh, God damn it, Tim. Did you put it at 24?
No, it's not that bad.
Oh,
but
man.
It's in my lower half, I'll say that much.
Fair enough.
Transformers really reinvigorated the franchise for me. And it sucks that it's kind of the biggest box office bomb of the series.
Well, I don't know that it reinvigorated this series for me, but it did make me at least curious about Bumblebee. I still haven't seen it.
Oh, yeah.
So
I definitely want to watch Bumblebee.
yeah, I would like to see Bumblebee because I've heard that it's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
And it was a nice ensemble cast, a lot of fun. Still, again, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
What did you guys have at number 6 or number 20, depending on which way you're going?
Tim?
I guess I'll go. So for me, it was the legendary John Carter.
Oh.
Yep. I said it before we watched it. I absolutely loved this movie when I saw it in theaters. I was probably one of the very few that actually enjoyed it when it originally came out. But it's a great movie. It's a bit convoluted, but again, it's just another fun action romp.
As I was
in
watching
space.
As I was watching it, I was like, this is really, really dumb. Because I was so confused about what was happening and who was who and why anyone was doing what they were doing. But I couldn't help but be charmed by the movie.
Well, and I did feel like that if you made it through to 2/3 of the way through, it did finally start to all click and actually make sense.
Yeah. Definitely.
It just took a while.
You got to stick with it for sure.
But there was some payoff. It was some earned payoff, but it was payoff.
Yeah, definitely earned by the audience by sitting through the first 2/3. But yeah, no, I totally agree with you, Tim.
And then really, that last scene added a whole lot of payoff.
Oh,
absolutely.
Yeah. The end, that last scene took that movie from 16 to not. I'm not going to tell you where it is because I'm not. It's not in the top 6. Let's say that. But
fair enough.
What is in the top 6 is Daybreakers.
Oh,
all right.
Is not where I had it. We'll just leave it there.
Are you sure it's not in your top 13?
It would be in my top
25.
20?
Oh, that's rough. No, I liked Daybreakers. I thought it was a fun movie. It was kind of a fun take on it was a very different spin on a very tired trope, and that's always fun to see.
Do agree with you on that in some aspects, but I just ultimately did not think it was that good of a movie.
Makes sense.
I don't know.
I don't blame you for that. Let's get you real wet, wrap you in a towel, and it'll cure your vampirism.
After catching you on fire.
You to sun. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we gotta get you a mean sunburn.
Yeah,
and then wrap you in the towel. But it's got to be a wet towel because a dry towel won't do the trick.
Dry towel's just gonna burn up.
Got to find your ex-girlfriend and really just wrap you in her.
Oh.
Oh man,
She's a wet towel. No.
it's a wet blanket named Pam.
Oh man.
So yeah, I like
now-
Daybreakers.
Fair enough. So we're all through 6 now.
Yep.
Correct?
Yes.
All right. So after that, I have one we haven't talked about yet, and that is The Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor.
All right, we're staying like pretty close to each other, except apparently Daybreakers. Daybreakers is pretty rough, but other than that.
Yeah, no, Mummy Tomb of the Dragon Emperor was another one that was just a lot of fun. Like Jet Li, fucking what's her name? Michelle Yeoh? No.
Oh yeah, no, definitely Michelle Yeoh. I fucking love Michelle Yeoh.
Yeoh.
And to see Jet Li and Michelle Yeoh fight, oh, so awesome.
Yeah. And then you get your Brendan Fraser, which can't go wrong.
Yeah.
You get your poor man's what's his name from the OC who
Oh yeah. Your poor man's Seth Cohen.
yeah, exactly.
Adam Brody is his name.
Adam Brody. Yeah, your poor man's Adam Brody. And I mean, yeah, it was fun to watch.
Yeah, it was a good time for sure. I have that one coming up.
Fair enough. What do you have at this position though?
So this is where I put John Carter, because Tim,
Very nice.
you were right. I was very skeptical when you said that you liked the movie. Then I watched it and I was just charmed the whole way through, and I got done, and like especially just ending on such a high note, I was like, oh, that was fucking good. I like ending on that like last 10 minutes. I was like, all was forgiven. I had totally forgotten about the last hour and a half that I had spent being very confused and kind of disliking the movie. That last 10 minutes, I was like, no, I like that movie a lot. Let's watch that again.
What about you, Tim? What did you have here?
So I had Tokyo Drift.
Oh, God.
And
Hell yeah.
I'm with Ben. This is definitely one of the better movies we've watched, at least in my opinion.
Ben, you got to sing the Yin Yang Boys.
Yeah, we got to have it going
They're
again.
the
Come on.
Teriyaki Boys. Come on. The Yin Yang Twins are an American rap group.
But yeah, no, it was Fast Cars, Fast Women, and it gave a lot of credence to my
Mila.
favorite character, Han, in the entire series. So
That's true.
Neela.
that's why it was up there for me.
And Neela.
And Neela, of course.
And we did get
Can't
to
forget
see-
Neela.
It's been a while since we've looked up naked pictures of the ladies in the movies we watch.
Oh man, she had the most. I think it's because I don't think anyone else is going to have as many as she did, and it's because of the fappening, which has its own controversies around it. So yeah, who knows?
Well, okay, so there was that Playboy with Denise Richards.
Well, yeah, but the fappening is
It's not as
like,
fun when
is
they're
it okay?
when they're not leaked.
Yeah, is it okay
Exactly.
To look at those? Like, I don't know. It's that's where it becomes a moral gray area.
It's the same. It's the same reason that a shoplifted candy bar always tastes better.
I haven't shoplifted a candy bar probably since I was like 15. But
Same, but still,
I never have. You criminals, get away from me.
Tim, you got to try it sometime, man. It tastes so good.
the rush.
Actually, you're an
I
adult.
do like
Don't
me
do
a Three
that.
Musketeers bar.
You're an adult. Don't do that.
Go steal a Three Musketeers bar. Do it.
Go. To everyone listening to this podcast, we fully endorse shoplifting, and we will be your legal aid.
Yeah, just get Jillian on it. We'll be fine.
That's right.
Yeah, well,
For free.
Pat's totally dating a woman who's becoming a lawyer.
Lawyer to be.
Yep.
Exactly. She in a few short years, she will be your legal representation.
She will represent you for free. All you have to
Excellent.
do is give
and
us
then you have your free candy bar and your free lawyer.
all you have
I
to
hope
do
she's
is
ready for world
steal a
domination.
candy bar for me while you're there. I assume we get to keep it.
Well, I mean, I would hope as long as they don't get caught, it's eaten before they could take it back.
Well, if we don't get caught, then why do we need a legal counsel?
Well, I mean, I'm assuming that you get caught on video.
You're just like running out of the store, shoving it in your mouth. Hey, I saw you take that. No, you didn't.
I got nothing.
Now we're in the weeds.
Yeah, that's true. All right. So
Number 18.
wait, did we hear what Tim said? Tim said Tokyo Drift. Okay, number 18.
I did.
Number 18. This is where I have John Carter. You
Oh.
guys have already said enough. Great movie. Yeah, that's where I have it. Pat, what do you have?
Okay, I know that you guys are going to hate me for this, but my girl Audrey, she and I just got to ride off into the sunset together at number 8 with Godzilla.
Oh, God. What is wrong with you?
Oh, God. Godzilla.
That's right, because Godzilla and Zilla, different characters. Yeah, no, that's
true.
this is another one that like I'm just nostalgic for this movie. I saw it in theaters and I was very scared. I saw it when I rented it later on, and I hadn't had Taco Bell in years, and the movie always reminds me of bean burritos. I just got a soft spot in my heart for Godzilla, and also a hard place in my pants for Audrey.
Oh, I thought you were going to say for bean burritos.
That's what
Also,
I was
yes.
expecting too.
Also, yes.
I just... that is one movie that I had seen as a kid and enjoyed as a kid and watched now and was like, that's a bad movie.
Yeah. See, for me, it was... I didn't like it as a kid. Still don't like it now.
Fuck you both. Audrey and I are going to go start our own podcast.
That's fine. You guys go
I'm going to
romp
tweet at
whatever
her
you guys
and ask
want
if
to do.
she wants to start a podcast with me.
Do it.
She's probably going to be weirded out when she goes back and listens to us talking about Godzilla and hears...
A hard place in my pants for Audrey. And bean burritos.
At the same time.
Put your hands together.
Tim, what did you have at number 18?
So at number 18, I had Fast 6, another one we haven't talked about yet. I like the Fast and Furious series. You guys have kind of gotten me into it with this podcast. So
Did you go and watch 5?
I did watch
Four.
5,
Fast.
and it's fucking fantastic. I'm glad I did.
Oh, that movie
I'm
is
so glad you did.
Way better
It's
than
so
both
good.
of these movies I've already mentioned.
Yeah.
But yeah.
5 is so fucking good.
Well, okay. And so have you watched all of them at this point?
I haven't. I still need to watch 7 onward.
Oh, okay.
Oh, but you did watch 4? Nice.
And you
I
watched
did watch
one?
4. Yep. What?
1, 4, 5 are the best ones.
I've seen 1, 2, 3 before.
Oh, okay.
And I hadn't seen 4 or 5. So I watched those. Fantastic. 6 we watched in the podcast.
Yeah.
But definitely better than
Yeah.
a lot of the other movies we've watched,
Oh,
in my
yeah.
Still
opinion.
fun.
That's a great.
Still a
That's
lot
the
of fun.
perfect descriptor of Fast and Furious 6 is, but a lot better than the other stuff we've watched.
Totally true. Totally true. All right, so now we're on to number 17. Who wants to start out?
I'll start out.
All right.
I'm gonna get up there with Patrick with Daybreakers.
Oh yeah, baby.
Yep.
Daybreakers love for life.
Yeah,
Or death,
I
that's
did
fair.
like this movie a lot. It was a great spin on vampires. Plus, the villain was actually kind of a dick, especially turning his own daughter into
yeah.
a vampire when she didn't want it, and that
That
kind of
is
hit
true.
close to home. So
Yeah,
That's very true.
fun movie for sure, and I love Ethan Hawke.
But they just ruined The Cure. The Cure was just so bad. Like,
Oh yeah,
and like, because then like the whole like biting cured fucking victims makes you cured. Like, just it was
that was really shoehorned at the end. They were just like, all right, we got to find a way to like
How
spread
do we
this
end
cure
this?
real quick. And it obviously can't be teaching and performing this extremely specific procedure constantly.
Why don't we insert it in the rain?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I'm totally with you, Ben, that was definitely one of the weakest points of the movie.
And that's really, I think, what ruined that movie for me.
Yeah.
Patrick, what did you have? here at
This is
17.
where I had Indiana Jones 4.
Okay.
So
Okay.
top 10.
This is where I have my girl, Lara
Audrey?
Croft,
Oh,
Tomb Raider.
Okay.
all right. Well,
Alicia
I can dig it.
Vikander.
we were way different on that.
Fair enough.
We'll
Fair
get
enough.
back to that one in a long time.
I
Not so long as you think.
love Alicia Vikander, and I had fun watching that movie, like, honestly. And I would watch a second one,
Well, you're gonna.
definitely. Yeah.
I feel like that movie was just
I'm
so
excited that Alicia
boring.
Vikander is there. I mean, it was kind of boring, yeah, at times, but not as boring as some of the movies we've watched.
That's true. I hate that that's the best argument for any of the movies. Except, like, 2 of them.
Yeah. The bottom, like, 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so I was excited. I was really excited to watch Tomb Raider. And I was even honestly excited to watch Tomb Raider to the point I almost saw it in theaters. And I hate seeing movies in theaters. But I didn't, and I'm glad that I didn't. That series has kind of taken a pretty hard left for me in the last year because of that movie, and then on top of that, Shadow of the Tomb Raider was a major disappointment. So, but I can't blame you because Alicia Vikander, oof.
Yeah.
I'll be in my
All right.
All right.
So now we are to number 16, correct?
Yeah.
Finishing out the
right.
top 10.
So this is where I have Bangkok Dangerous.
Okay, that's good. Top 10.
Oh my god. So
Tim,
do I.
you too? Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
It was my number 10 movie.
Bangkok Dangerous, fun movie. Cool.
I mean, he's riding a motorcycle on a dock, like, and then
Lost
jumping over
in-
gondolas. Come on.
Lost in translation, but a violent hitman in fucking Bangkok.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
pretty awesome movie
Premise.
concept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is where I put Spider-Man 3. Because Spider-Man 3 was okay.
We're getting there for me.
Another movie that I think we probably got too much hate, a lot like Indiana Jones did.
The best of the 3.
Easily the best of the 3. For anyone who doesn't get that joke, go back and listen to our podcast, or just listen to you can refer back to like 10, 15 minutes ago and then go listen to the other podcast.
We recycle bits
Exactly.
a lot here.
Exactly.
We don't have a lot of original material.
When we come up with something we think is funny, we just beat it till it's
We
dead.
run it into the ground because we're not comedians, okay?
And then we resurrect it as a zombie.
We
and
don't
then kill
get-
it again.
Hey, man, that's working for Zelda.
yeah, you're not wrong.
So,
It's true.
yeah. So,
All right, so Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Man 3, Bangkok
All right.
Dangerous. It's a good spot for
I-
both of
I-
those movies.
Could see that. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Next for me, number 15, I've got that old film, Bad Santa 2.
Which the episode never came out.
It didn't?
No, I don't think we ever released it.
Did we not?
For those
Next
of
year.
you, next year. Yeah. So since it was never released, you'll just have to trust us. We watched Bad Santa 2, and it was okay.
It
And
was
we made
not
an
great.
episode about it. We didn't release it because we couldn't edit it in time for Christmas, if I remember
That's
right.
right.
That was the issue.
That's right.
Just put it up
Because
anyways.
my work
then.
schedule was too insane at Christmas time because I work in retail.
There you go.
Retail sucks.
Yeah, retail does suck.
It does. This is where I put Mummy 3.
Okay.
All right.
Just
What about you, Tim?
very middle of the road.
So, we haven't talked about this one yet, but I had Geostorm here.
Oh.
I actually
Oh.
really, really liked last week's movie.
Fair enough.
It's just a again, another fun movie. A lot of space techno babble. It does have like a couple like slow moments where they're just walking around and talking, but like overall, it did a good job of building on the suspense, and I cried a little bit at the end.
There were.
So
I think Geostorm was flawed in that it went too far, but like before going too far, it was pretty good, and then it went too far. But like before that,
And
I mean, Happy Days was
Gerard
a good.
Butler didn't know his lines.
Yeah, and Gerard didn't know his lines. Happy Days was a good show until they jumped the shark, right? Geostorm was a good movie until they made it not the president.
Poor Henry Winkler
Yeah,
had to jump the shark.
literally where it came from.
All right, so we just did 15. Now we're on to 14. We're almost through the first half.
All right, yeah, we're coming up.
So at number 14, I had one that Tim already had talked about, and that's Fast and Furious 6. Like Tim said, I mean, it's just an adventure, a lot of fun, lots of action.
Another movie that's very unapologetic.
One, and I feel like that's what Hobbs and Shaw is going to be, which I've noticed that they have ramped up the advertising efforts for, and God, I am excited to get my adrenaline rushed.
To see Idris Elba as a literal superhuman in a franchise that started about street racing.
I see, like I literally have not paid enough attention to any of the previews that I watched to know that Idris Elba is a superhuman. You keep saying that, and I'm just like, we'll see when I see the movie if I believe that he's a superhuman.
Okay.
I just know that there's cool scenes where fucking Jason Statham has a baby strapped to his chest.
I didn't know that. You may have just sold a movie ticket.
I'm pretty sure that there are scenes where he's fighting people with a baby strapped to his chest.
Is this Death Stranding?
No, it's like a baby Bjorn. I'm like 90% sure that this happens.
All right. Well, you'll have to report back.
You're not going to see it in theaters?
No, I'm not.
Fuck you.
I have seen a lot of movies in theaters this year. I saw Avengers and Detective Pikachu, and I'm going to see Star Wars. It's a lot.
So you might as well round it out with the best movie of those four and see Hobbs and Shaw.
No.
I don't think
You
it's gonna
are
be
the
Avengers.
one who proposed just last week that you wanted to see Dark Phoenix.
In theaters for the show, yes.
So you don't want to see a good movie in theaters. You want to see a bad
I
movie.
can't use it to make YouTube content.
But you could. We could talk about how awesome Hobbs and Shaw is.
Nobody wants to watch a podcast about how good something is. Actually,
But
that's
they could
mostly what people want to watch.
We're getting to the wrong demographic.
Maybe we could. Maybe they'll make a game spinoff.
Hey, we could play it.
All
All
right.
right, we're in the weeds here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are. We are in the weeds. All right, so we were on number 14. I went with Fast and Furious 6. What did you guys come with for number 14?
This is, since Tim just mentioned it, this is where I put Geostorm. I liked it.
Okay,
It's fun.
Yep.
fair enough. Tim, what about you?
Like Ben, I had this kind of high, but I had Tomb Raider here.
Oh.
Mike Andrews is just too fucking gorgeous to let drop any lower.
You guys are putting way too much
really
stock in that woman when you're not putting enough in Audrey. Just saying.
She's hotter than Audrey.
Yeah, seriously, like so much hotter than Audrey.
No.
Like
Yeah.
there's not. It's not even close.
No. All right. Moving on.
All
What's
right,
next?
so halfway, the top half,
Oh, yeah.
I have Spider-Man 3.
Oh, Spider-Man 3 made it into the top half of the worst movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yikes. Easily the best of the three.
Well, no, actually, I guess it would have been the top. It would have, because no, it's not in the. It's
the top half for
number
sure.
13, so it's in the.
Yeah.
It's better than the top than the. It's confusing how you. It's
We have
yeah. I guess it's yeah.
the top half of
It's
bad.
right in the
The
middle.
wording. Yes, it is the 13th best of the films that we've watched.
Yes. No, it's that movie was pretty terrible, but also not bad. I don't know. Everything in this conversation is relative because, let's face it, besides Starship Troopers, none of these movies are good. Like we've said,
like, genuinely, yeah,
we've said a lot. Like we have used the word "great" in this episode a lot, and none of these movies besides Starship Troopers are great. So this entire conversation is relative.
No,
Spider-Man 3 is pretty
well,
okay.
and in reality, we're really just trying to do this so that we have a relative like
a barometer
benchmark for when we're throwing out other movies. We can be like, oh yeah, that was worse than fucking Geostorm. And everybody was like, oh, Ben felt like Geostorm was the 9th worst film that they had watched. So,
oh yeah, that's actually true for the audience. This is for we're doing this for you guys.
In fact, we should
totally
probably
not shoehorning it for us.
We should probably like put this into like an Excel document and then make Jillian fucking post it on Instagram or something.
That's true.
So that everybody can refer to it when they listen.
Also,
That'd be nice.
We should put her contact information in it as well so that people can contact her after they steal candy bars.
But because she still has a full year left of law school.
Yeah, but she's like 2/3 of a lawyer at this point.
Yeah, like exactly. I mean, just
same.
Who cares about passing the bar?
Close enough.
And like honestly, well, is she going to try and pass the bar in Maine before you guys move to California, or is she just going to move to California and pass the bar there?
She will not take the bar in Maine.
Okay. So then, yeah, if you don't live in California, don't hit her up because she will not be passed.
It's true.
She will not be able to be your lawyer.
It's true. But
yeah,
California, 5th largest economy in the world, so there's a market for stealing candy.
It's true.
All right.
All right.
So 13th best movie. I went with Spider-Man. What did you go with, Pat?
So I did. This is where I put Mortal Kombat.
Okay.
Am I the first one to bring up Mortal Kombat?
You are.
Oh.
So that means you liked it better than anybody else did. So defend your decision.
Congratulations.
This one was the first Paul W.S. one that we watched.
Yes.
And
what was the second again?
The second one that we watched was Death Race.
Oh yeah, you're right.
But the second one that he did that we watched was Resident Evil.
Okay, yeah.
And so Paul W.S. Anderson, it's a fun origin story, not for Mortal Kombat, but for Paul W.S. Anderson, who would later go on to direct the great film known as Death Race. But ultimately, it's without a doubt, nostalgia plays into this one for me because I just loved this movie when I was a kid. So,
fair enough. What about you, Tim?
Okay, so I really didn't know where to put this one because I actually wasn't even on this episode with you guys, and I actually haven't watched this movie in like a couple years, but I do remember liking it a lot better than anything else that I have on the remainder of my list. So I put Final Destination here.
Okay.
Oh,
because I don't know. I remember really, really loving this movie. I didn't really have anywhere else to place it, so I figured, you know what, right smack dab in the middle, because I don't feel either way about it. There we go.
Just
was Final Destination just you and me, Pat, or was that you, me, and Andrew?
No, I think it was just me and you.
Okay.
And very odd nudity in that movie, if you'll remember.
What was the nudity in Final Destination?
In the magazine that he was
Oh yeah,
in the bathroom before he got strangled by the shower.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah,
worth it.
Bizarre nudity, definitely.
Yeah, no, that movie was
a movie.
It was a movie for sure. But Tim, I'm kind of with you. Just very middle of the road, didn't feel real strongly either way.
Nope.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Speaking
all right, so
of,
now we're into the
if I can just roll into the next round.
All right, so we're now entering the
15th.
worst half of the 25 that we are talking about.
Yep.
For me, Final Destination.
All right. Cool. So I'm glad I'm not that far off.
I am gonna drop Paul W.S. Anderson's other film, Resident Evil.
Oh, that's pretty high.
I'm actually with Ben on this one. Resident Evil is my choice as well for this one.
I do remember you guys liking
Resident
this
Evil
one better
was
than
better than Mortal Kombat.
Ooh.
I thought it was better than Mortal Kombat.
I agree.
Only one spot.
100%.
Only one spot better.
So without a doubt, Resident Evil made Ben's top 15. No, I Resident Evil, I remember you guys liking it much better than I did. I just remember thinking the production value was incredibly terrible.
When you also hate Michelle Rodriguez for some unknown, bizarre reason.
It's true. I also can't stand Michelle Rodriguez. So,
sorry, Michelle, if you're listening.
When Michelle Rodriguez listens to this, she'll know you fucking ruined the second season of Lost for me, bitch.
Yeah, I never watched Lost.
You should.
I didn't.
It's great.
I got lost in the first episode and never went back.
I've heard that if I do, I'm gonna regret about watching about like 5 of the seasons when I get to the end.
A lot of people say that, but I have constructed what I think is a pretty coherent argument. So, if you do watch it, I'll make the argument.
Fair enough. All right. So we all just gave our answer for number 12, didn't we?
Yeah.
Or wait,
guys,
because
you guys
Tim and I were
had
both Resident Evil. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. All right. So number 11, I've got Mortal Kombat.
All right.
Okay.
That's not bad. It's not like we're pretty close on that one.
I thought Paul W.S. Anderson made a very bad movie with Mortal Kombat. Made a slightly better movie with Resident Evil, and by the time he got around to Death Race, he'd figured out how to make movies.
Yeah, Death Race, awesome. If you take anything away from this podcast, it's watch Death Race.
Yeah.
Really?
Tim seems frozen.
Oh, yeah, but at least he's smiling while he's doing it.
Yep.
So, oh, he's back. Tim, are you with us?
Yeah, Skype decided to crash on me.
All right.
Oh, no worries.
Don't worry about it. So I went with Fast and Furious 6.
All right.
I thought that movie was pretty dumb when we saw it in theaters, Ben.
Oh, I did too.
I think that it was ultimately it was like the 26-mile runway that killed it for me.
That's
just like the Cure ruining Daybreakers for me.
Yeah, just one thing at the end really ruined it. And that's something like that's kind of similar with Geostorm. Kind of like they just took it one step too far and it just took the wind out of the sails.
Yeah. What did you have at number 11, Tim?
So for me, it was Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor.
Oh, wow.
A bit lower than the rest of us.
Yeah, I really didn't care for this movie as much as you guys did. It was boring. I felt like the main character just didn't have a whole lot of motivation. I mean, the main villain, it just... the fight scenes were cool,
but the weakest part of that movie.
Yeah, it felt really just bad. And then the giant army fight at the end, I was just like, why is this a thing?
Yeah.
I remember just hating it the entire time I was watching it. So
that's fair.
I guess I do remember being pretty pissed walking out of the theater thinking I spent $9 on that. But
I spent $9 to take a nap in that movie theater.
Yeah. Well, at least you're not as bad as Billy. Billy spends $15 to go to 3D movies and take a nap while his friends watch them at midnight. But
I went to see that, I think, with Billy and Drew. And I think either both Billy and I or both Drew and I fell asleep.
Oh, yeah. Probably Billy.
And Billy and Steven both went and saw Tomb Raider in theaters last year and both fell asleep. And it woke up and the theater was empty. The credits were over.
Well, it's funny. I fall asleep in these movies from time to time, in the movies we watch for the podcast. But typically I don't fall asleep in movies. But I very rarely fall asleep in movies, and I forgot where I was going with this thought, so we're going to move on.
Something about the Mummy, maybe?
Oh, yeah. I mean, no. lost it.
All right.
It's gone.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Let's move on to number 10. AKA Devlin time.
Oh, God. Godzilla or...
Godzilla.
All right.
Is what I've got at number 10. Dean Devlin. This is where he makes his triumphant start, and he will make it his triumphant finish shortly later on my list.
All right. So you liked Godzilla better than Geostorm?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm actually surprised.
That's interesting.
It's a giant monster versus stupid. I mean, yeah, there were some scenes in Geostorm that were cool while you're high, like I said in the podcast. But overall, it was a pretty dumb movie.
Yeah.
Like,
I got it. It came back to me. My thought. So like I just, sometimes I just like I very rarely fall asleep in movies, and I would be pissed if I fell asleep and like felt like I wasted money. But for this, I think I have just a more positive spin on these because I'm like, I'm watching this to make a podcast about it, and it's doing something good for me rather than like, hey, I spent $9 and this was shit.
Well, we also do try to find most of these on streaming services that we can watch for free, so that's also a benefit.
That's true. This would be a pretty expensive podcast if we were spending $9 every week.
Ugh. Yeah, I would not have the money for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No way.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's
All right.
fine.
All right.
So-
So yeah, Godzilla. I mean, that's why I've got Godzilla here at number 10. It's just, it's not a very good movie at all.
It is not. Not
Weird
in the
that-
least.
That it just doesn't seem like that Godzilla would be able to burrow, but it could apparently burrow.
Yeah, that was pretty inexplicable.
Molezilla.
Molezilla. That's a good way to put it.
No, that I think, Ben, that you're summing it up pretty well. Like it's a monster movie, and that's kind of the best thing it's got going for it, except Audrey.
Yeah.
Eh.
Do you think that that's where Arrested Development got the idea for the mole attacking the little city when they try to make the fake when they when Buster builds the train city out?
Probably not.
That is such a classic episode, like especially because then Tobias gets in the mole suit and goes and attacks the city, and the Japanese investors are there, and it's such a classic episode.
That is a great one. No, that's probably not where they got that idea.
It could be though. You can't tell me that it's not until you talk to what's his name, the guy who
Mitch
created
Hurwitz.
Arrested Development. Mitch Hurwitz. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So what'd you guys have at number 10?
Tim?
So I had Transformers 5 here, a bit lower than you guys, but I really didn't care for this one all that much.
Fair enough.
Damn it,
I really
Tim.
didn't. I don't think there's much more to talk about. It's just, the story didn't excite me at all, and
You really didn't like Cogburn or Cogman or whatever his name was.
yeah, he pissed me the hell off.
Ben and I both
whereas
really liked him.
Yeah, Pat and I were big Cogman fans. We were pro Cogman.
Very, very
Cogman
pro
for
Cogman.
president.
Cogman 2020.
Even though he's
I'm glad he's dead.
British and a robot.
Probably not eligible to run, but still.
Yeah.
This is where I put Bad Santa 2.
Okay.
All right.
It was just like very after quoting, and like Ben, you and I even call corn dogs Thurman Mermans for some reason because of the first
I do that.
movie.
But it's because of a party that I went to in high school where we were really drunk and calling corn dogs Thurman Mermans.
But you and I related it to the first movie when we were teenagers, and I don't even remember how.
Literally, we started calling corn dogs because of Bus House 07. JJ Bussey's party. Johnny was cooking everybody corn dogs in the kitchen upstairs, and we weren't supposed to be going upstairs. And so Johnny was like sneaking upstairs, and I don't know if he was calling them Thurman Mermans to be sneaky or anything or something, but Johnny was the one who, John Boy, back when John Boy still drank, John Boy was the one who coined the term Thurman Mermans and started calling corn dogs Thurman Mermans. And literally I have referred to corn dogs as Thurman Mermans ever since.
Well, I put Bad Santa 2 here, and because it wasn't as good as the first, and that was disappointing.
It was not as good as the first, but it is still fucking hilarious. Like some of those jokes, like I remember I went back through my notes and I read some of the fucking quotes that I wrote down from some of those jokes. They're fucking funny.
Yeah, some of them, like the movie was definitely had its moments, but it was just
well, and I mean it's just like the lines are very quotable in like a funny way. Like the plot was stupid, but I don't know. It was the appeal of the jokes to me was enough that it boosted it up to number 15 for me.
All right.
Fair enough.
All right.
So now we're on to number 9.
Indeed we are.
I'll kick us off. Tokyo Drift.
Wait, let me, because well, now you already.
Sorry.
I'm gonna just shit all over your Tokyo Drift and say this is the other half of Dean. Geostorm.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
I liked Geostorm better than that. Geostorm deserves better.
I did too.
Justice for Geostorm.
I think it did too. Agreed.
I don't know. I mean, Gerard Butler didn't even know his fucking lines.
That's true. It's pretty hard to defend the movie when Gerard Butler didn't even know his lines.
And he's the fucking producer as well.
Yeah. You would think he would kind of care. He's getting 2 paychecks from the fucking thing.
Yeah. Probably points, which did not ultimately amount to anything, basically. So he really probably fucked himself.
Well, that's probably why he was so checked out. Because he realized what he was working on, and he realized he had points.
And he's like, fuck, I signed a stupid contract that got me points, and
Yeah.
I'm not going to earn anything on this movie.
So he just phoned it in. What are my lines again?
I don't really care.
Get in, people. Get in front of the camera. Action. Line. It's probably how it went.
Quite possible.
Tokyo Drift I thought was pretty terrible.
Yeah. I remember you hated it a lot more than Ben and I did.
I always have.
But Neela.
Yeah, Neela's hot.
Neela's hot, but not even the top 5 hottest chicks in the series.
We've already been over this. You're wrong.
No.
Hotter than Michelle Rodriguez at the very least.
Yeah, hotter than Michelle Rodriguez for sure. All right.
Like as hot as Gal Gadot. No, not as hot as
Whoa. Okay,
I'd say maybe one step below.
Ben, that was a
generous.
major claim, and you immediately walked it back.
Because you remembered how hot Gal Gadot really is.
I recently watched Wonder Woman over the weekend, and she was so gorgeous.
Yep.
Way better than Alicia Vikander.
No. Vikander is if the man. I mean, if I was better looking, I would propose a 3-way marriage between me, Alicia Vikander, and fucking Michael Fassbender.
And you would be equally happy for both the cock and the pussy in that situation.
I would take it, give it. I would do anything I needed to be involved in that relationship.
Oh boy.
Okay, Tim, what did you have in this spot?
So another movie that I wasn't on the podcast for, but I don't remember liking that much. Mortal Kombat. It's where it falls for me. The only thing that came out of that movie was the theme song, and that's about it.
Ben
still better
at a very
than
low frame rate
everything
was
else on
great.
this list.
Still
better than the rest.
We might have to insert that little kid doing the fucking 4-channel audio.
The acapella. That kid has a lot of fans.
He does.
He's fucking awesome.
Yeah. All right, Ben, what'd you have next?
So we are on to numero 8, and I have Final Destination here.
All right. Fair enough.
It's interesting.
Yeah. That one was I mean, it was just a weird movie.
It was the silly scene where I can't get over all of the just completely absurd deaths. Like a shower head just spinning around his neck over and over and over and over and over again. Just did not stop. Or the woman in the house when she falls on the glass. It's like, what? Give me a break.
Yeah, I wish I could remember what it was, but I recently saw a tweet. I think it was probably on Blocker Charge, and the first tweet after it was like, in Final Destination 30 or something like that, because it was something where somebody clearly probably fucking died, and I was just like, oh fuck, that is a gnarly video.
Yeah, no, it was not a very good movie, but I put it higher on the list.
Wait, like high, like as in worse?
No, better. I mentioned it. Tim and I had Final
did you?
Destination around the same spot.
Yeah, in the middle.
I remember Tim having it. I don't remember you having it. Sorry.
Yeah, but I going off the horror theme. This is where I put. I know what you did last summer.
Respectable.
Just
See,
you weren't on that podcast.
Tim wasn't.
No, you weren't.
Oh, you're
It was
right.
me,
I
Tim,
wasn't.
and Andrew.
I wasn't.
Yep.
I
was a weird
watched
one.
it, and it was bad.
it was very bad.
Yeah, it was not good.
I mean, they didn't even check to see if the guy was dead the second time they threw him off the boat. Come on, for fuck's sakes!
How many times are you going to not check to see if this guy's dead?
Every time, apparently.
And then the fucking what? Oh yeah, I forgot Anthony Hopkins was in Transformers.
Ben flipping through his notebook. Oh, what? Anthony Hop? Oh yeah.
No, but the fucking scene where she's screaming at no one.
Oh
It's
man.
just so absurd.
Oh, in the middle of the street, just
Yeah. What is it that she?
What are you waiting for?
Oh man, what a bad movie.
so bad.
Too much.
Terrible.
Yeah. Tim, what'd you have here?
So I had another horror film on our list, Gothica. Here.
Oh.
I thought Gothica was a little bit better than I Know What You Did Last Summer, but still it wasn't great. I mean, it had a lot of good visuals, but the story didn't make sense. You couldn't tell what was going on half the time. Was she crazy? Was she not? Yes, she was, sort of ish.
A movie that didn't know what it was supposed to be.
Exactly, and it just fell flat on its face.
There was a ghost.
The ghost part was cool, for sure. But there was too much else
Ghostbusters
going
did
It
on.
was a buddy cop movie between Halle Berry and a ghost.
That's right. But there was just too much else going on.
Yeah, still wasn't great.
I'm with you, Tim.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, so number 7, I Know What You Did Last Summer. What are you waiting for?
I'm with you there. This is the exact same spot I have it.
All right. So I deviated a little bit. Troll 2.
What?
Oh, wow. That's a lot higher than I had it.
Audible
Yes, a lot
surprise.
higher than I had it too.
So, Ben, I think that you're the reason that I put this movie so high. Is
Because you have a shamrock scar now?
No, because you sold me on it by saying I would go back to this movie with a group of people that hadn't seen it.
Yeah, that's true.
That
That's
would
very
be
fair.
fun. And I was at work and I put it in I had the fun chat named Nilbog. And everyone was like, what? And one friend of mine was like, it's Goblin backwards. And it's like, that's fun. It's a fun movie to make fun of with people.
I will say that of the movies that we talk about, this one that we have talked about, this one I talk about the most in my everyday life. Because
How much do you talk about Troll 2 in your everyday life?
I would say that I probably quote, they're eating her, then they're going to eat me at least once a week.
I wonder what Ben's doing in his regular life.
He's eating people. Or getting eaten.
He's either working on the set of pornos or in a very disturbing grocery store meat department.
Relationship.
Ugh.
I like popcorn. What can I say?
Oh man.
Don't you like popcorn? You know, the popcorn chick, remember?
Yeah. Okay. So you guys both had Final Destination here, and I had...
No, I know what you did last summer.
Oh, that's right. Okay. All right. Moving on then.
So now, number 6. This is where I have Daybreakers.
Oh, man.
Wow. Really far down there.
Yeah. Holy shit.
That cure was bad, and the below... what Subsiders, I think is what they were called.
Yeah. That subplot
so
really
bad.
didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
It didn't.
And it had a lot of potential.
Yeah, I did not like that movie very much at all.
Yeah. Relative. It was good.
It is relative.
But overall.
It was better than 5 other movies.
Okay, this is where I put Gothica. And I think
I've got Gothica coming right up.
I'm pretty in line with Tim, and it seems like Ben is pretty in line with me. Gothica had potential, but
Let's just say this. Gothica was the best buddy cop movie we watched.
buddy cop comedy.
Exactly. Yeah, so Tim, what did you have at 6?
So I had Bad Santa 2 here.
Okay.
I fucking hated that movie.
Jeez.
Like I like if we even released we didn't release it, but had we released it, you would have heard my distaste and displeasure. I didn't think it was funny. I thought it was just a pointless piece of shit movie.
Maybe we should do just a shadow drop and just release it.
We might as well.
Christmas
at this point.
in July, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Christmas in July.
Yeah, it's
But not nearly as bad as the next movie.
okay. All right.
So for me, at number 5, I have Gothica there. Like I said, best buddy cop movie with a ghost that we watched.
But still turned out to be shit.
Yeah.
A
All right.
steaming pile of shit.
I'm excited to hear what Tim has to say, but I'll get mine out of the way. Tomb Raider. I was so bored with this movie. I thought this movie was insanely boring. Alicia Vikander, I guess I'm just not as attracted to her as you two are. But very disappointed.
All right. Can respect that. So
You're wrong. And I hate you. Just kidding.
All right. So to start off my top 5 worst movies that we've done, at number 5, I have Godzilla 1999.
What?
Gojira.
Yeah. Dude. I said, like I said earlier in the podcast, I fucking hated this movie as a kid, and I hated rewatching it. It was boring. Like, the entire subplot of it having babies, it all amounted to nothing but a bunch of destruction in New York City and a dead Godzilla in the end, not ever coming back to wreak more havoc.
That's cool as fuck.
Yeah.
Gojira.
Yeah.
Here, I'm
no,
gonna find some pictures of Audrey for you.
She's not hot. You're not gonna convince me.
I mean, she's hot, but she's not that hot.
She's like on the lower half of like the hot chicks that we've seen in these movies.
Yeah, it's true.
Nah.
Dude, we've watched movies that have Halle Berry, fucking Denise Richards, Neela.
Neela
Fucking
doesn't
Alicia
even know her
Vikander.
name. Halle Berry, Denise Richards, Neela. Okay. All right.
That girl in Bangkok Dangerous.
Oh, yeah, she was hot.
Yeah.
Troll 2, The Witch.
Popcorn.
That was something.
Okay.
Gamer, The Wife.
All right, Ben. Next one.
All right, next up, number 4. I got Jonah Hex coming in hot.
Oh, okay. It's higher than I've
Yep.
got it.
Yeah, I'm actually with Ben here. I have Jonah Hex in the same position.
Damn, I think Tim and I are going to finish out
Pretty
clean
even.
on the last 3.
Yeah, maybe.
Unless I could definitely see it happening. On the last 4 even then, because we have Jonah Hex right here. Yeah, this movie was just bad.
Oh, maybe, actually, yeah.
This movie was bad. It just was bad. It was really, really bad.
Half of it was just him on a horse going...
Yeah.
It was terrible.
This movie was
god-awful.
Literally, this is the only movie where I've literally been like, oh, at least it's long, it's short, and then still felt like it was terrible,
so long,
even though it was short.
It had like 8 minutes of credits. Mm-hmm. It was an 82
and no
minute movie.
character motivation.
It had like 8 minutes of credits. A 74-minute movie still felt long.
Yeah. It was bad.
Yeah.
Just bad.
Villain was bad. Megan Fox was bad. All of it was just bad.
Yeah, I agree.
Not bad meaning bad, but bad meaning good for Megan Fox. Or...
She's hot, but her performance was still terrible.
Yeah, she was. God, I agree with you, but even more because this one is worse, in my opinion. But
that's fair.
Did you guys both have Jonah Hex there?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, this is where I put Resident Evil. I was very disappointed in Resident Evil.
You're not giving Resident Evil enough credit, I don't think.
No, you're not.
I was legitimately excited to watch this movie. I had just played Resident Evil 2, and it was an awesome game, and I went and watched this movie, and it was terrible.
Well, that is your problem. You went from awesome to terrible too quickly.
I just ripped it off too fast. It's like Sonic. Forces and Mania?
Exactly.
Nope.
Exactly. Yeah, no, Resident Evil was not the 4th worst. I disagree.
Just plain
it was in the worst half, I'll give you that, but didn't deserve to be that low.
The worst half. All right, so number 3, this is where I have Gamer.
Wow.
All right. That's high. That is high.
I agree. That's pretty high for that one.
Right.
See, I had Troll 2 here.
Okay.
It was,
so Tim and I just have that. That's the only switch in Tim and I's top or bottom 4.
I think so. I think so, yeah.
All right.
Because, Troll 2 was just bad.
I
love watching it, but I can't deny the fact that it is an absolute garbage movie.
Oh, I agree. I guess I thought that some of the performances in Gamer, I thought Gerard Butler's performance in Gamer was better than his performance in Geostorm.
That's not a real high bar.
But the story is so much more preposterous.
Yeah.
Navaldine and Taylor fucking... What was they did this one and Geostorm. No, not Geostorm. It was Jonah Hex.
Speaking of...
So Navaldine and Taylor held down number 3 and number 4 for me on the worst movies that we've watched. Good for you guys.
Speaking of Jonah Hex, I had Jonah Hex at number 3.
Respectable.
Yeah.
I mean...
Terrible.
If it wasn't at 3, it was going to be at 4. It's so bad.
Yeah, really bad movie.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Now, I want to go first because I think we all know what's going to happen. So I'm going to break the mold, and I'm going to say Gotti.
Is number 2?
Number 2.
What?
Gotti.
So you think Gamer was worse than Gotti?
I think Gamer was worse than Gotti.
My God.
That's just so patently
That's
wrong.
That's a hard disagree.
Gamer was at least interesting. Gotti, I did not want to be watching it. As soon as it started,
it was very boring. It was just a series of events that had no narrative arc, no narrative arc, no building of the of any sort of plot. It was just just things that happened in his life. And it was bad, for sure.
And his son's life.
It was very bad, for sure. But it was not as bad as Gamer.
Yeah, see, I have to disagree. I've got Gamer at my number 2. It was bad. I will give it to you. It was really bad. But I didn't fall asleep 5 times watching Gamer. I fell asleep 5 times watching Gotti. Mm-hmm. Ugh, I couldn't finish that movie for the life of me.
Exactly. I'm on the exact same page as Tim. Like I have Troll 2 here at number 2.
Understandable.
I felt like the production quality and the dialogue and all of that was just so bad. But yeah, it's better than Gotti for sure.
Yeah, I'm with Ben on that.
I just can't get on board. It was so bad. And like there were so many good actors that were like they should have, like Gotti, the cast wasn't good. It was like John Travolta.
Okay, but you need to be justifying not why you thought Gotti was bad. You need to be justifying why you thought it was worse or better than Gamer.
Well, I'm justifying why I thought Gamer was worse than Gotti. Because Gotti,
so many good actors. There was Michael C. Hall.
No, that's what I'm saying is
Gerard
Gotti
Butler.
didn't have a good cast.
John Travolta is supposed to be a good actor.
John Travolta is supposed to be a good actor, and that's all they had. Whereas, think about, and I'm not saying Gamer had a great cast.
Michael C. Hall and fucking, you just said they had a great cast.
No, I'm saying
they literally just said the words that they had.
I didn't say they had a great cast. I'm saying they had a better cast than Gotti.
Okay,
Michael C. Hall.
I do think that if we rewound, you would have just said that they had a great cast.
I'm sure you're gonna listen to it, and we'll find out. But Gotti had Gerard Butler. He's okay. Michael C. Hall is okay. Kira Sedgwick is okay. Logan Lerman is okay. Terry Crews is pretty awesome.
Terry Crews was not allowed to do anything except for look menacing.
That's true. Amber Valletta.
And punch people.
I think that it's, any day of the week it could be a flip. But today I gave the win to Gotti.
I think you're just trying to be controversial.
No.
I kind of have to agree with Ben, because I think if you go back and re-listen to the Gamer episode, I'm pretty sure we referenced Gotti, and all 3 of us agreed it was better. I want to say.
I don't know.
believe Tim on that.
I'd have to go re-listen.
I said it could be a flip any day of the week, but I hated both.
Gotti, yeah.
Gotti was so bad. The guy who played John Gotti Jr., oh, God.
My hatred for Gamer, I think, just stuck longer. And I'm thankful for that I forgot Gotti very quickly.
I think we all tried to, but
it was not at all memorable. Chris had a lot of notes on Gotti.
He did. Chris took very diligent notes.
I mean, as he was telling us what happened on the podcast, I was like, oh, yeah. Yeah.
That did happen.
That's who that was.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, let's just go off this other person now.
Yeah.
It's true. No, yeah, that's it's an interesting thing, definitely. All right, well, so then we've basically, because you now know that Tim and I both have Gotti as our worst film that we watched. So that is basically our each individual rankings of each of the films that we've watched. Maybe we'll try and get Jillian to post those somehow.
Honestly, send me your lists. I want to throw it into Excel and see if I can average it out to see what we have for an official average list.
Oh yeah, give everything a score.
Yep.
That's not a bad way to handle that.
Yep.
Yeah, cool. We'll figure something like that out, and we'll get it out on social media. But since we don't only watch bad movies and TV, let's talk about some of the stuff that we've genuinely enjoyed watching lately. Patrick, let's start with you.
Well, Jillian and I are working our way through the Marvel movies, and we just watched, Civil War. And that movie is really good. I think that
Might
that's
as well be actually Avengers 3.
yeah, and it's really like it's a cool plot that like depending on what you think, the bad guy changes depending on where you like what you believe. So I think that's a really cool point of that movie.
And I think that it is interesting that they didn't decide to call it Avengers 3 and that they called it Captain Marvel 3, even though it basically is an Avengers movie.
Captain America.
Or Captain America 3, excuse me. But even though, because the Civil War storyline was an Avengers storyline.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting thing that they did decide to do that.
I mean, I would imagine that, like, everyone is so obsessed with trilogies these days, they were probably wanting to, like, they didn't want to blow their load of, like, this is the end of the trilogy with Civil War when they still had plans and gears were in motion for the Infinity War.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
And honestly, compared to the other Avengers movies, I don't think it was like on that big of a scale.
Yeah.
As that big of a
I
don't feel like the conflict was on as big of a scale.
That's something.
I don't know. They go all over Germany and stuff, and there's a big fight in Germany.
That's something I actually agree with Tim. I noticed while watching it is like, as the big fight at the German airport, as they square up, it's
but then
like,
they have the fight before in Germany too. The initial fight in Germany when they catch Captain, and then War Machine stops him, and he's like, "Congratulations, Cap! Now you're a war criminal."
yeah, but like think about who was in those fights. It was like Captain America and Black Panther and Winter Soldier, and then in the big one, it was like they squared up, and it was
War
was
Machine
awesome.
was also in that,
War Machine showed up at the very end,
and so what? I don't know. I mean,
but I know, and I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying the scale was smaller, and it just like they squared up, and it was like 6v6, which it was an amazing scene. But I just didn't feel like it was on the same scale as an Avengers movie, which there's nothing wrong with that. I think Civil War is better than Age of Ultron. Easy.
Oh, absolutely.
boy, that's Josh Whedon. Fuck that movie up.
But I also think that
I talked about that last week.
I also think that Civil War is better than Infinity War.
I have to go back and watch all of them again to definitively rank that.
I can't remember what I said on the Infinity or the Endgame episode, but I might agree with that.
Yeah. So yeah, I watched Civil War and it was awesome.
Nice.
Hadn't seen it since theaters.
Tim, what about you?
So I really haven't been watching much this week. I'm still super ingrained in school and shit. So
That's fair.
like if
That's fair.
I get I've been watching a lot of SmackDown and Raw pretty much.
Nice.
It's all I've like had time for. So
That's pretty perfect, though.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
a fun thing to like continue to keep busy with as far as like staying up to date on something that's a hobby.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. Well, me personally, I watched the season premiere of the new season of Big Little Lies, and I'm excited to be thrown back into that world. Monterey is a very beautiful place, and Reese Witherspoon, Nicole Kidman.
Oh yeah, I forgot. That's the one.
What's her name?
Shailene Woodley.
Yeah, Shailene Woodley. I met her in real life one time. She was very unassuming. She like walked up to me while I was at work in the box office because she was hosting an event and I had no fucking idea who she was. And she walks up to me and she's like, "Hi, are you Ben?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "I'm Shay." And I was like, "Okay." I still at that point did not realize that she was a movie star.
What you didn't realize is in this interaction, you were the celebrity. She knew your name.
It's true. She did. And then, like shortly later, I was like, "Wait, that girl looks kind of familiar." And then I was like, "Oh fuck, that's that girl from those weird movies that I never saw. That was like a young adult novel turned into a
a wannabe Hunger Games.
I don't even remember what it was called.
Divergent.
There we go.
Shailene Woodley's super hot.
She was very attractive in person.
And
she's a bit of a hippie, though.
She's what?
She's definitely a bit of a hippie.
Yeah. And she's also knows your name.
She does. She did. I'm going to go ahead and guess that she's probably forgotten.
No, I bet if we tweeted this at her, she would probably remember you.
I mean, I wouldn't hold it against her if she didn't.
We'll tweet at her with the timestamp.
There we go.
Also, who else do I have to tweet at?
You were going to tweet at, what's her name from Godzilla?
Oh, yeah, Maria Patello. Hey, girl.
Audrey.
What's up?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that wraps up our first rankings episode. Don't forget to check out our incredible website, ColdNorthPro.com, where you can see everything we do in one place. Listen to us weekly on our other podcast, Hard Reset. There we discuss the latest in gaming news and video games in general. This will be the last episode of our first season of No Refunds. Thanks to everyone for joining us on this ride. Look out for Season 2 coming soon. Our first episode will be Neil LaBute's 2006 film, The Wicker Man. See you next time, and don't forget, no refunds.
You owe me a lot of
fucking
money
hate
after
you.
these.
No, you owe me a lot of money after this next one. The rest don't even compare.
I'm just so excited because I've never seen it, and I just want the memes to all make sense.
Oh, they'll make sense. And you're going to hate yourself every minute of it.
The bees, man. I just want to understand the bees.
Not the bees! Ugh, no, thanks. I might want to stop my recording.